So Tim Iman is back, and he has proposed that we pay a flat $30 car tab rather than the current, more progressive taxation structure that we have for our car tabs. This would gut the public transportation, the transportation budget in our state and also for our localities. It would be $25 billion at risk. 20 million of that could possibly come from sound transit and construction that is already going on. It would actually be retroactive, meaning that even things like sound transit and other regional transportation funding that has already been approved by voters would cease, and construction, even if it was going on, would stop. It is a flat, regressive tax that would absolutely decimate our state transportation budget as well as our localities' transportation budget. It would result in a revenue loss for the state of $1.9 billion and a loss to local governments of $2.3 billion, and those are over the next 6 years. Over the 10-year period, it would be $25 billion at risk. And it does target funds to pay for special services for our seniors, our disabled, and veterans. And it also, as I said, repeals the taxing authority to give local cities voter-approved measures. Those would be just stopped. So this includes projects that are midway through and midway through construction. So as the revenue disappears, those projects would just dissipate unless the state came in and somehow found money to be able to take from something else to give to transportation and to these projects that are already underway, which, as we know, the state is already facing usually each budget cycle a chronic budget hole because of other Tim Iman measures. So do we want more Tim Iman? Do we want a flat regressive tax? No, thank you. I urge you to vote no.
Thank you, Summer. Are there any questions for Elizabeth? Go ahead.
I thought that about 4 or 5 years ago, the general membership voted to simply reject all Iman initiatives. Did we not do that?
That sounds like it might be a question for the executive board and not on the presentation right now.
Yes, ma'am.
We have any
Is Tim Iman making money off of this initiative?
I do not know that. That is a very good question, and I believe that that would be a question that Bob Ferguson and his crew could look into. I believe he usually makes money, and that is why he has been found in contempt of court for not turning over documents. And of course, he's had other court issues as well that we know about.
Are there, yes, Jeff?
So every few years in Seattle, we vote for levies for transportation projects, everything from transit lanes to bike lanes, to just pothole repair. So you're saying that this would basically remove all of that funding since
Yes.
it's a local voter approved?
It would be a cap on that funding, so any funding that had already been approved would then cease and have to drop. And it also means that anything that came forward after that would have to be much lower, because I know that in the Seattle area, we're trying to figure out if it's a Seattle or County transportation package that we're going to put to voters soon. So that would automatically be capped, but anything that had already been voted in would be retroactively capped.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions for Summer? Oh, yes.
Does this do anything to address our current upside down tax code in Washington State?
It makes it worse because it is, first of all, taking away funding from needed social service, needed transportation services, and additionally, it is as regressive and flat of a tax as it comes, because if you have a very fancy new Tesla or a Mercedes, you are going to be paying the same as the person who has a couple $100 or $1,000 car that they use to get to work, or the farmer who's trying to get his transportation, take his or her stuff to market. Additionally, it does also it takes away snowmobile fees, weight fees, and electric vehicle fees. And so it also is just a straight car tab, and then we can't address additional fees. And snowmobile fees do help with snow routes, and those are some dedicated revenue streams that would be displaced. The other thing is that we have, I believe, 160 bridges and overpasses in the state of Washington that need to be upgraded. We all remember when the bridge collapsed. just north of Seattle, and this would also jeopardize all that funding for that retrofitting and replacement of those bridges and overpasses.
Great.
Yes.
Haven't we done this before?
I believe so. Tim Iman comes back more often, and he's persistent, and we are persistent in refuting his claims of wanting to help the taxpayer, because we are helping the taxpayer if we advocate for more progressive taxation and more extensive social services that target those in most in need in our state.
Great. Are there any other questions for Summer? All right, seeing no further questions, thank you very much, Summer.
Thank
for
you.
talking.